Good morning, everybody. Let us try to learn another modeling technique today, that is by use of physical variables. We are familiar with the choice of physical variables. What are these physical variables? How are they to be chosen for the modeling? Physical variables essentially are those variables which are associated with energy storing elements. To give an example, current through an inductor can be taken as a physical variable. Also, the voltage across the capacitor can be chosen as the physical variables. Let us try to understand the modeling with the help of an example. Let us try to take a problem and see how to model a system using physical variables. Let us try to consider a simple RLC network which is being energized by a source of voltage Vi of t. So this is the network. We have a resistor, an inductor and a capacitor connected in series, energized by a voltage source of Vi of t. So obviously there is going to be a current flow in the circuit, which can be written as I of t. So when current flows through these elements, there are going to be potential differences across the resistor, inductor and a capacitor. Let the capacitor develop a voltage Vc of t. In this circuit, as we can see, we have two energy storage elements. One is an inductor, another a capacitor. We will try to take the current through the inductor and voltage across the capacitor as the state variables. So what I mean is, we have chosen x1 of t, the state variable 1, equal to I of t. I of t is the current through the inductor. We can even write it as IL of t. This is equal to I of t, of course. Alright. The second state variable is associated with the second energy storing element, that is the capacitor. Let this be Vc of t, voltage across the capacitor. So we have chosen two state variables, x1 and x2, associated with two energy storage elements. Now we may have to write equations which will result in the required format of state equations. Alright. Let us try to write a KVL equation to this circuit. KVL equation is Vi of t, the applied voltage, should be equal to the sum of the various potential differences across various elements. Vi of t is R into I of t plus L di of t by dt, that is the voltage across the inductor, and capacitor voltage we will simply write it as Vc of t, because Vc of t is one of the state variables. We know Vc of t can also be written as 1 by c integral I dt, but we don't take up this form. This form we don't choose. Instead, Vc itself being a state variable, we will keep it as Vc of t. I suppose the things are clear. Now we will try to rearrange this equation. We will keep di by dt on one side, that is L di of t by dt is equal to, we will send all other terms onto the other side, that is minus r into I of t minus Vc of t plus Vi of t. We further write this as di of t by dt to be equal to minus r by L I of t minus 1 by L Vc of t plus Vi of t. We will call this equation 1. Alright. Now we will write another equation for the capacitor voltage. Rather, we will try to write using capacitor voltage, we will try to write an expression for the current through the capacitor. What is the current through the capacitor? Current through the capacitor is I of t itself. I of t we know can also be written as C dVc of t by dt. This is the current through the capacitor, which happens to be I of t. So this equation we will try to rewrite. dVc of t divided by dt is equal to 1 by C I of t. This is equation 2. You look at equation 1 and equation 2. These two equations are in the required form. That is, we have chosen the state variable I of t as one state variable and Vc of t as a second state variable. So our equations 1 and 2 essentially deal with the first differential of the two state variables respectively, which are a linear combination of state variables and the input variable. So equation 1 and equation 2 can now be arranged in what we call as vector form. Equations one and 2 can be put in matrix form as di of t by dt equal to, if you look at the first equation, equation 1, the coefficient of I of t is minus r by L. The coefficient of Vc is minus 1 by L. I'm trying to put the equation 1 in the matrix form. This is I of t. And this is Vc of t. Plus, equation 1 has input term Vi of t, that is 1 into Vi of t. Okay, we have arranged equation 1 in the matrix. If you look at equation 2, we have dVc of t by dt as the differential of the second state variable. This is equal to 1 by C into I of t, and there is nothing with Vc of t that can be replaced with 0. And now here we have, in the second equation, there is no Vi term and this becomes 0. So this is equation 3. Now look at equation 3. Equation 3 can be written as, this is x1 dot, x2 dot equal to, this is minus r by L, minus 1 by L, 1 by C, 0. Now I of t is x1, so I'll put it as x1 of t, this is x2 of t, plus 1 and 0, V of t. In the standard manner we can write it as U of t. U being input, we normally call it U. Okay. So now if you look at equation, this can be written as x dot vector equal to matrix A, that is system matrix, and the state vector plus input vector B into V. So this is the state equation. Alright. Now to complete the modeling, we need to write another equation, output equation. So it depends on where you exactly take the output from. If we take the capacitor voltage itself as the output, if voltage across the capacitor is taken as the output, then we can write the output equation as y equal to Vc of t. Alright. So in matrix form, you can write the same thing as y equal to, there is no coefficient for I and there is coefficient of Vc is 1. So you write this as 0, 1, I of t, Vc of t, where the output y is equal to matrix C multiplied with x. This is the output equation. Okay, if we can call this state equation as equation 4, output equation as equation 5, we have completed the modeling. Equations 4 and 5 models the given system in state space Alright, equations 4 and 5 model the given system in state space. This completes the modeling. We will take up another example. We will take up another problem so that we can understand the concept better. Problem number 2. We will try to consider a network of this nature. A resistor. Let's put one more resistor. Let's put a capacitor. Let's put another capacitor. Let this be the given network. Right? So let us express this as R1, R2, C1, C2. Let there be an input voltage of Vi of t. Alright, now if we look at this network, we have two energy storing elements and the voltages across these elements can be taken as the state variables. We will try to ground this terminal and we will denote the potential of this node V1. This node is V2. Obviously, this node will have a potential of Vi. Right? The three potentials are being expressed with respect to the ground. Now, the state variables obviously are the voltage across C1 and C2. If you can look at this network, it's very evident, very clear that the voltage across capacitor C1 is V1 and voltage across capacitor C2 is V2. So, we will try to take the state variables as V1 and V2. At the same time, we will try to denote the currents through the various elements. Let's say the current here, let this be I1, let the current here, let it be I2, let the current here, let it be I3. Alright, so we have designated the various quantities, and we will now proceed with the modeling. What do we write first? Let us try to write the state variables. Let x1 of t equal to v1 of t. Alright. Let x2 of t, that is the second state variable, be the voltage across the second capacitor C2, which is designated as v2 of t. These are the two state variables. So we need to write the equations associated with these state variables such that we get the first differential of these two state variables in the two equations that we obtain. How do we do? We try to look at this network, and if we can apply KCL, we can simply write it's so easy, right? Applying KCL to the network, what can we write? We can simply write the current I1 should be equal to the sum of the currents I2 and I3. Okay? It is so simple. What is the current I1 equal to? We can simply see that the I1 current is the potential difference between the two voltages, that is Vi of t. We can put t everywhere and we can skip t, doesn't matter much. V1 of t divided by R1. It's that simple. The current I1 of t is equal to Vi of t minus V1 of t divided by R1. Similarly, what is the current I2? We can simply write I2 of t is equal to V1 of t minus V2 of t divided by R2. Alright. What is I3 of t? I3 of t is simply C1 dV1 of t by dt. We are able to write the three equations for I1, I2, I3. We will try to substitute the value of I1 and I2 and I3 in equation 1, and let us see what we will get. I1 is equal to, that is Vi of t minus V1 of t divided by R1 equal to I2 is V1 of t minus V2 of t divided by R2 plus C1 dV1 of t by dt. Alright, so we will try to keep C1 dV1 by dt on one side and keep the other terms on the other side. Alright, so we will try to shift this entire thing onto this side and only this on one side. So what do we write? C1 dV1 by dt is equal to, we will write all the terms associated with V1 first. That is the first state variable. We will try to collect all the terms. Alright, so what do we have? 1 by minus 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2, this into V1 of t, and plus 1 by R2 into V2 of t, I have collected the terms having the coefficient v2 of t, there is only one, then plus we have vi of t divided by r1. We will try to transfer this coefficient c1 onto the right side. So what do we get? dv1 of t by dt equal to minus 1 by r1 c1 minus 1 by r2 c1. This whole thing has to be multiplied with v1 of t plus 1 by r2 c1 v2 of t plus vi of t divided by r1 c1. We will call this equation 2. Look at equation 2. Equation 2, if we can closely see, has got the differential of the first state variable, alright, which is equal to constant times the first state variable v1, constant times the second state variable v2, and some constant times the input variable. So this is what we needed. We require an equation which is the derivative of the state variable as a combination of state variables and the input variable. So we are able to arrive at one equation which connects the first derivative of the state variable along with the state variable and the input variable. So now we need to have another equation. What is the format of equation? We may require x2 dot of t. What is that? That is dvc t dv2 by dt. So if we can write an equation for the current I2 using the capacitor voltage, we will be able to get what is needed. Okay, so we will try to write the current. We have an expression for I2 here, but we are trying to write another equation. We have an equation for I2 here. We will try to write another equation for I2 in this manner. I2, the current through the capacitor. I2 is the current through the capacitor C2, right? I2 can be written as C2 dV2 of t by dt. Agreed? From this we can write dV2 of t by dt equal to 1 by C2 into I2 of t. This is my equation 3. So equation 2 is the derivative of the first state variable, and equation 3 is the first derivative of the second state variable. On the right hand side of both the equations, we have simply the state variables and the input variables. Alright, so equation 3 we may have to now replace I2 in equation 3 by this particular equation. We will try to do that. We will try to write dV2 of t by dt as equal to, we cannot have I2, right? So we have to get rid of this I2. So we may have to write 1 by C2. For I2, we will substitute from this equation, which we will name it as A. We will try to write 1 by C2, this into V1 of t minus V2 of t divided by R2. That is equal to dV2 of t divided by dt equal to 1 by C2 R2 into V1 of t minus 1 by C2 R2 into V2 of t. This is equation 4. So our equation 2 and equation 4 are in the required format. Equation 1 is in the equation 2 is in the required format. Now equation 4, if you look at equation 4, dV2 by dt, that is the first differential of the second state variable v2, that is equal to a constant term multiplied with the first state variable v1 and another constant term multiplied with the other state variable v2. Now if we can put equation 2 and equation 4 in vector matrix form, we will be able to arrive at the state equation. Okay, let us try to arranging equations 2 and 4 in matrix form. What do we get? We get dv1 of t by dt dv2 of t by dt equal to, we will try to write the coefficients of v1 first, minus 1 by r1 c1 minus 1 by r2 c1 and then the coefficient of v2 is 1 by r2 c1, and from the second equation, that is the equation number 4, we have the coefficient here to be r2 c2 and here minus 1 by r2 c2. What we get here is v1 of t and v2 of t plus we have here 1 by r1 c1 and 0. And what we have here is vi of t. Vi of t. Okay. So this can also be written as v1 of t dot v2 of t dot would mean the first derivative equal to minus 1 by r1 c1 minus 1 by r2 c1 1 by r2 c1 1 by r2 c2 minus 1 by r2 c2, whole thing multiplied with v1 of t into v2 of t plus 1 by r1 c1 0 vi of t. So if you look at this, it can be written as x dot equal to a into x plus b into u. Alright, where this is A, this is my matrix A, this is my matrix B, and we have, this is the state equation. Okay, this is the state equation. Now we need to arrive at the output equation. What is the output equation? That depends on where you take the output from. Suppose we take the output here. Let us try to take, let's say, the output being taken here. This is y. If we take this is our output, then we can write the output equation simply as v2. Right? Output y is simply v2 of t. Right? This is the output equation. So this is in the required format. We need not do anything about it. So this is equal to y equal to, there is no v1 term, that is 0, v2 is 1, this into v1 of t and v2 of t. So this can be written as y equal to c into x, and this is your output equation. So state equation plus output equation completes the modeling. Completely models the system. The given system. All right. Let's have a quick recap of this before we wind up this lecture. We took two problems, one having a simple series RLC, wherein we were able to identify two energy storing elements, or two elements having memory. One is a kinetic energy element, inductor, and potential storing element, capacitor. So the parameters associated with these two elements are taken as the state variables. That is why we call it physical variables. They are physical quantities, the quantities that can be measured and observed. So we have chosen I of t, that is the current through the inductor, and capacitor voltage as the two state variables, x1 and x2. Now how did we do? We should know what we exactly want. When we define the state variables, to arrive at the state equation, we require to have an equation which will talk about the first derivative of these two state variables. That means we need an equation for di by dt and another equation for dvc by dt. These are the two things that are needed. So what equations would give these two things is of concern. So whenever we deal with inductor, remember that a KVL equation will give you the required equation. Alright, if you apply Kirchhoff's voltage law to a given circuit, we will be able to get the derivative of the inductor current. Alright, L di by dt is the voltage. So we need to apply KVL. So we first wrote the KVL equation. What is the KVL equation? The applied voltage Vi of t is R into I of t plus L di by dt plus, instead of writing 1 by C integral I dt, we write the capacitor voltage Vc of t. This again is something that you need to understand and remember. So Vc of t itself is a state variable. So we retain Vc of t. We don't write this. So we write Vi of t is R into I of t, L di by dt and Vc of t. Further, we simply manipulate the equation to get the required equation. Once our KVL equation is ready, all we have to do is adjust these things or rewrite this equation in the required form. The form is that the differential of the first state variable, that is dit of dt, equal to something into I of t, something into V of t, something into Vi of t. These are the things that we require. So we transfer everything and we are able to get equation 1. And now when we need to write another equation, that is the first derivative of the second state variable, that is x2 dot of t, which is nothing but dvc of t by dt. What you need is the current through the capacitor. So whenever we require an equation concerning with Vc dot, the derivative of the capacitor voltage, try to write a current equation. So it is simple. Current through the capacitor I of t is nothing but C dvc by dt. So rearranging this, we were able to get equation, and once we have equation 1 and 2, we know how to put it in matrix form. So we try to arrange the coefficients in matrix A. Coefficients of I of t, coefficients of Vc of t are arranged in matrix C. This is our matrix A. Alright. So we have done this, and if we take the voltage across the capacitor itself as the output, then we wrote another equation, y of t is so much, and we have arranged that in the matrix form. So it is simple. Equation 4 and 5 gives the state space modeling. Similarly, we took up another example, problem number 2, wherein we had two capacitors C1 and C2. We defined the two state variables x1 and x2, obviously related to the two storage elements, and voltage across the capacitors are the obvious choice. We have taken x1 of t as v of t, v1 of t, x2 of t as v2 of t. So while dealing with capacitors, we need to write KCL equations. This has to be, this is a kind of thumb rule. You can remember it. So inductor, whenever we deal with inductor, try to write KVL equations. Whenever we deal with capacitors, try to write KCL equations. It is as simple as that. So while doing this, we considered the potential of the various points V1, V2, VI, V1, V2 with respect to ground. We indicated the currents. We simply wrote the equations for current, right? And we applied KCL for the network. That is I1, the current I1 should be equal to current I2 plus I3, equation 1. So we substituted for I1, I2, I3 by simply writing the by simply substituting in equation 1. So we were able to get this equation. So what we did was we rearranged this equation so as to get dVc V1 of t by dt on one side and the remaining terms on the other side, and the remaining terms should essentially contain the two state variables only, that is V1 and V2, and you can have the input variable Vi. Nothing else should be there. If you have anything else, you have to remove that. You have to replace it with appropriate equation. So we were able to get equation 2. Now we have to get one more equation to deal with dVc2 by dt. So we made use of equation I2. In equation for I2, we simply wrote it as I2 equal to C2 into dVc2 by dt. That is the current through the capacitor C2. So we were able to write equation 3. But in equation 3, if you look at equation 3, on the right hand side, we have I2 of t, which is not needed. We cannot have I2 of t on the right hand side. We need to get rid of I2 of t, but we can have V1, V2 and Vi. So what is the equation which will help us do this? So we try to make use of equation A. We try to put it back, and then we were able to get equation 4. Equation 2 and 4 we arranged in matrix form, and we were able to get the state equation. Similarly, we do the output equation. As we have taken the output across the capacitor 2, we have called y equal to V2 of t. We arranged it in the matrix form. We were able to get y is equal to c into x. So hence we complete the modeling of the system. So we can simply arrive at this particular conclusion or a tip. A tip is that we will write a tip. While modeling the system using physical variables, the tip is while dealing with inductors, use Kirchhoff's voltage law. And while dealing with capacitors, use Kirchhoff's current law. Okay. With this background, with more practice, we will be able to understand this concept better. Thank you. We will deal with more modeling techniques in the coming lectures. Thank you very much.